All right, just please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll start with English, then switch to national language. I'll get us started. Eala, a very dominant performance today, and congratulations, your second Australian Open. Just talk about your emotions right now and how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm speechless right now. I don't know how to describe my emotions, but definitely I'm super, super happy and proud of everything I was able to achieve so far. And yeah, just happy with the level I played today. And she's a great player and very tough opponent. And I'm super happy that I was able to get this win today.
$60 million isn't just a number. It's a statement that reverberates through the closed-door world of professional tennis. In an arena where sponsorship agreements are forged in secret and athletes maintain public smiles while their representatives fight boardroom battles, a figure of this magnitude signifies more than just a logo on a uniform. It represents the construction of a new narrative, the anointing of a future star, and a colossal bet on who will define the next generation. That massive wager was placed by Nike squarely on Eala. To grasp the seismic impact of this decision, one must look back beyond the official announcements and leaked documents, before the carefully worded press conferences that barely masked the underlying fury. You have to understand the positions of two fundamentally different women when this entire saga began. Eala was widely considered the most promising young talent to emerge in women's tennis in a decade. Hailing from the Philippines and honed at the Rafael Nadal Academy, she had methodically climbed the ranks, winning junior Grand Slams and exhibiting a level of composure that unnerved players twice her age. Her style was precise, patient, and driven by a quiet internal hunger that surfaced in the grueling final sets of a match. For 3 years, Nike had been watching her intently, with their development team designating her a top-tier priority. Internal documents, which would later become critically important, identified her as the key to unlocking emerging markets and the face of the sport's future. A designation that would prove prophetic and destructive.
List, and someone else's name had taken its place.
How much do you have to spend a little bit of time becoming on-court Eala? I remember Rafa used to talk about becoming a different player when he walked onto court. Do you try to do the same sort of thing?
Well, it's actually good that I'm two different people on and off the court, because if I would be the same person that I'm on the court, off the court, I think I wouldn't have my team around me, and I think I would be alone.
The intricate world of professional tennis has a way of making secrets perishable. The community is insular. The circles of influence are small, and information travels swiftly through networks of agents, coaches, and trainers who occupy the same hotels and tournament lounges. Consequently, when a deal as monumental as Eala's $60 million contract was being finalized, the very people meant to be kept in the dark were bound to find out. Just not through any official or intended channel. Nike's strategic move was the culmination of months of planning, driven by the explosive growth of the Southeast Asian tennis market. Eala was perfectly positioned to serve as the link between the sport's traditional power centers and this massive new audience. From a business perspective, the logic was impeccable. The execution, however, was a disaster. Sabalenka's team received no preliminary notice, no courtesy meeting, no professional acknowledgement that their long-standing partnership was being dramatically altered. The first sign of trouble arrived via a leaked internal memo, which made its way from a journalist's source to an inbox, and then almost instantly to the devices of every influential figure in the sport. The document detailed Nike's new global strategy, positioning Eala at its core with the $60 million commitment. Buried within the text, almost as an afterthought, was a line stating that Sabalenka's current deal was under strategic review, pending performance and commercial recalibration. For a player who had built her career on a foundation she believed was unshakable, learning of her demotion from a leaked document was not just a professional slight, it was a profound betrayal. The fury that erupted was both immediate and inevitable.
Were not returned. The stage was set. The war had begun.
So Simon, Matt, John, and Eleanor. Simon?
You're just pointing like that. I'm like, where is Simon?
Don't worry, I'll make sure. Simon first.
Remember, I had a little drink already. Yeah.
Was it important to you to win a second slam to show that it wasn't just a one-off?
Yeah, actually, it's been in my mind that I didn't want to be that player who win it and then disappeared. I just wanted to show that I'm able to be consistently there. And
there is a unique form of chaos that ignites when a private corporate conflict becomes public spectacle on social media, and this situation was a textbook example. Within hours of the news breaking, the online tennis community fractured into two passionate and fiercely opposed factions. On one side were Eala's supporters, a global coalition who saw this deal not as a controversy, but as a long-overdue coronation. They argued she had earned this opportunity through years of relentless effort, navigating the complex dynamics of a sport dominated by European and American influence. For them, the contract was a historic recognition of Eala's talent and a pivotal moment for the Philippines and a new generation of players worldwide. The other side, however, perceived a more disturbing narrative. Their issue wasn't with Eala herself, but with what Nike's actions symbolized. Sabalenka had been a model of consistent excellence, delivering championships and visibility for the brand. Now she was seemingly being cast aside not for decline in performance, but for the arrival of a younger, more commercially appealing athlete. It felt like the oldest, most cynical story in sports, freshly packaged for new era. Sabalenka addressed the storm in a press conference that became one of the year's most-watched tennis moments. Her composure was absolute. Her pauses deliberate. When asked directly about Nike, she offered a smile that never reached her eyes and stated that while her commitment to her partners would never waver, changes is something other people will have to answer for. The message was clear. Nike, for its part, released a tone-deaf 3-paragraph statement celebrating its historic investment in Eala without mentioning Sabalenka even once, a move that only intensified the backlash.
To smooth things over, they had just made them considerably worse.
Well, of course, there was really moment where I really didn't believe that I'm gonna win it one day, especially those period when I was serving double faults and couldn't fix my serve, and there was a lot of up and downs.
When the corporate ground gives way beneath an athlete, the reactions vary. Some retreat from the public eye, others quietly negotiate a new path, and some make a pointed statement by signing with a rival. Aryna Sabalenka chose a different route. She made her disillusionment visible. The first clue was a subtle one, captured in a fan's photograph from a practice session where she wore gear stripped of any Nike logos. In the charged atmosphere, this image spread like wildfire, fueling speculation about her future. Her management offered no clarification, which in the world of public relations is a statement in itself. Next came a temporary Instagram story, visible for just 11 hours but seen by millions. On a stark black background, white text read, "Loyalty is not a contract, it's a choice, and some people choose wrong." There was no ambiguity about its target. The post triggered a frenzy of online analysis, with fans and journalists dissecting every possible meaning. This public turmoil coincided with a slump in her on-court performance. Sabalenka began losing matches she would normally dominate, and the media quickly wove a narrative of a champion distracted and diminished by the corporate drama. Meanwhile, rival brands like Adidas and New Balance were reportedly making overtures. But a significant problem remained. Her contract with Nike had not yet expired. Legally, she was still their athlete, trapped in the uniform of a brand she felt had abandoned her, forced to compete on the world's biggest stages in a state of public contractual limbo. The full truth, when it finally surfaced, didn't come from an official statement but from the meticulous reporting of a sports business journalist with deep sources inside Nike. The exposé contained several key revelations that reshaped the entire narrative. First, Nike's initial plan had not been to replace Sabalenka, but to feature both her and Eala as co-anchors of a new global campaign, representing the sport's present and future. However, revised market projections for Southeast Asia came in so high that the strategy team decided to concentrate the entire $60 million investment on Eala alone for maximum impact. The decision was purely financial, but its execution was catastrophic. The second revelation concerned Sabalenka's contract, which contained a standard but rarely used clause allowing Nike to restructure the partnership's scope with 90 days written notice. Nike had sent the notice, but whether its full implications were understood or communicated within Sabalenka's management was a point of contention. Legally, Nike was covered. The third and perhaps most humanizing detail was that Eala, upon learning the full context, had asked her representatives if the deal could be renegotiated to protect Sabalenka. She was informed that it was not her place to do so. When Eala eventually addressed the public, it was through a short, heartfelt video. She spoke of gratitude, of representing her country, and of her respect for every player on the tour. "I know this moment is complicated," she said. "I just want to play tennis and I want to make something of it." Her words underscored the tragedy of a young woman who had earned an extraordinary opportunity only to find herself at the center of a corporate war she never wanted. If you step back from the leaked memos, social media firestorms, and contractual fine print, what does this story truly reveal about professional sports? It shows that the bond between an athlete and a brand, which appears to be a partnership built on shared success, is always underpinned by cold, hard calculation. There is always a spreadsheet determining an athlete's worth, whether their market reach aligns with corporate goals, and if their face still fits the desired narrative. Aryna Sabalenka had delivered championships and iconic moments for Nike, yet none of it was sufficient to protect her when the financial strategy shifted. That is a stark reality of the business. Then there is Eala, a phenomenal talent who handled an impossible situation with remarkable grace. She earned her contract through years of excellence and even tried to mitigate the fallout for her predecessor. She now carries the weight of this controversy alongside the hopes of her nation, her career a testament to the shifting global landscape of tennis. As for Sabalenka, she will undoubtedly endure. Her fierce competitive spirit cannot be nullified by a contract clause, and she will make any brand she represents stronger. Yet something essential was broken: the trust between a world-class athlete and the institution that claimed to champion her. the question that remains, the one that this entire episode boils down to, is whether this was a colossal corporate misstep that inadvertently shattered a relationship, or a deliberate, calculated strategy that treated one of the sport's greatest champions as expendable.